Hello, with this video we are going to present sketches for the new interface of the VAMDC portal. With this new interface, the navigation plan is a tree and every block will appear in sequence. So for instance, the block here 1.1 will appear after we have chosen something in block 1.0. Let's start with this first case for collisional process. Once the user chooses the radio button, the collisional process, and validates his choice, then the block 1.1 will appear. In the block 1.1, the user can choose if we want to perform a request on collision without reaction, so including elastic and inelastic process, or collision with reaction. In the case of the example, here is the first choice who is taken. Then the user can choose the process name, and he can choose between a list of proposed process in a relation with the previous choice. The process code and the process description are editable field, non-editable field, which are filled automatically by the interface according to the choice of the list. Once the choice of the 1.1 block are made, the user can validate his choice and the block 1.1a will appear. In this block, the user can choose the number of targets, the number of colliders you want to choose. I recall here we have target a collider because in the previous block the user choose elastic and inelastic, so without reaction collision. Here you can define the number of target and the number of collider. Once he validates his choice, he has to define what this target and what these colliders are. So we have the definition of target 1. In this case, he will choose an atom for this first target. He will define the target number 2. In this case, it is a molecule. And you can choose the roles for colliders 1 and colliders 2. In this case, colliders are particles. Once he validates all these definition of targets and collider, the user may choose between all the combination of collision he will make by combining these two targets and the two collider. He can choose here for selecting all, or just a collision with target 1, collider 1, and all the combinations which are automatically computed by the interface. When he validates the choice, he can just save the query or submit the query into the portal. In this second example of the new interface, we are going to see how we perform a request for collisional process, including reaction. So the first block is for choosing collisional process. When the user validates it, the second block here will appear and the user will choose the option with reaction. Then he can choose between the proposed process and as in the previous case, the process code and the process description are non-editable fields which are automatically filled by the interface. When the user validates his choices, the block 1.1b will appear, where he has to define the number of reactant and product for which combination will generate all the possible reaction he would like to query on. So for instance, the user will choose the number of reactant, which is in this case equal to 3, and the number of product, which is in this case equal to 2. When he validates the choice, the new block will appear for defining a role of these two reactants and these two products. He has to define what this first reactant is. In this case, we've chosen, for example, to put an atom. For reactant 2, we have chosen a molecule. For reactant 3, a particle. And for product 1, again, an atom, for product 2 an atom 2, and then the user can validate his choices, and in this new block he may choose between all the combination of this reaction. So since we have a 3 reactant and 2 product, All these combinations are legal for performing a request, and for giving to user no ambiguity, he can really choose which reaction he would like to query on. When he validates this last step, he can save the query or submit the query to the portal. In this news case, we are going to see how to perform a request on radiative process using this new portal. The first step is to choose the second radio button here for radiative process in the first block. Once we validate the choice, this new block will appear. In the first choose box, we can choose here wavelength. The other field will be classically frequency, wave number, or energy. And this first item, which is a wavelength in our case, we can define an interval, giving an if value and a sup value. Here we can choose the unit, and we have here in orange an automatic conversion which is displayed to user, giving the equivalent wavelength in Armstrong if the unit chosen here is different. Then the user can choose between three different types of transition from an energy range to another, transition to and from a given energy range, or any kind of transition. In this last case, there will be no more supplemental block for defining the details, and we are going to see how the new blocks will appear for defining the first and the second case. Here the 2.11 block is referred to transition from an energy range to another. So here we can define a range from the upper state energy and the range for the lower state energy. So the query, we are going to look into the VAMDC infrastructure for finding all the transition which goes from the lower state energy range to the upper state energy range. Here, moreover, we can define the Einstein coefficient for the probability. In the case where the user has chosen transition to and from a given range, he has just to define the state energy of the initial or final status. So we are going to look all the transition which comes and arrives to a given state energy, and here we can define the range for this state energy. Again, we can provide the probability. We may also make a restriction about the species we would like to restrict the queries. We can enter the number of species we would like to restrict on. Here we are going to show the example for one atom and one molecule. And when we validate the choice, we have to perform the species definition. So let us pay more attention to these fields we have already introduced in case of transition for defining atom and molecule. Let us look at it more in detail. For the atom here we can choose the symbol, the mass number, the nuclear charge, the ion charge, and the Inchi key. For the molecule it's the same, we can choose the chemical name. This is a field which have auto-completion, so you can just start type your molecule name, and it will be automatically suggestion in function of what is stored into the database. Here we have the stoichiometric formula. We can choose the structural formula and the spin isomer, and for the combination of these two choices, the user can check all the isotopology he would like to choose. When he validates this new block, the user can choose if he would like to define thermodynamic condition. If the answer is yes, we have this new supplemental block where you can define the ranges for temperature, pressure, or the density of the medium. Finally, you can, once everything is validated, you can save the query or submit the query to the portal. In this last example, we are going to see how to use the portal for performing requests on species. The user in the first block will choose the third choice by species, and when he validates this choice, this new block will appear. In this block, he can choose the number of species he wishes to restrict on. He can choose between atoms, molecules, and particles. In this example, we choose one for each of them. So when the user validates the choice, he has to define what this atom, molecule, and particle is. We'll see the field for defining the atom. It's the same we saw before. You can choose the symbol, the mass number, the nuclear charge, the ion charge, the inch key, which is not an editable field, so this field will be filled by the interface. And you can define the state energy given a range. The equivalence between the unit chosen here and the centimeter -1 will be automatically provided by interface. For the molecule, he has to define the chemical name. As I already recall, we have auto-completion on this field and also on this stoichiometric formula. You can then choose the structural formula, the spin isomer, and you can choose explicitly all the isotopology associated with this configuration. Finally, you can define the state energy. For the choice of particle, you can only choose between the existing particle, so electron, photon, etc. When you validate the choice, you can just submit the query to the portal or save the query. Thank you for looking this video, and please provide returns and comments in the forum field of this YouTube channel, so we can improve this new portal before launching the development procedure. Thank you.